Hi, welcome to the Geek Legions of Doom. My name's Steve. This is Chris. We're going to be talking about characters from Star Wars, but we're going to focus on the bad guys, sort of spanning all the films basically. We're going to do our top five. So over to you, Chris, to begin with.
My number five is Greedo. Now he first appeared in Star Wars Episode 4, and what I liked about Greedo is you don't know much about him. He's like quite a mysterious character. You don't really know much about his background, and he's like one of Jabba the Hutt's bounty hunters. But I always thought he was really cool the way he looked. I like the original figure as well. I thought that was quite cool. Yeah, and I just thought he was quite a, even though he didn't get much screen time, I thought he was quite a, good addition to the bad guy ensemble.
Okay, my number five is a TIE fighter pilot. So he's not a particular bad character as such, but obviously he works for the Empire, fights for the Empire. So from that perspective, he's a bad guy. Basically, I like them because they look cool. Obviously dressed in black, and obviously cool armor. They've also got breathing apparatus to breathe in a vacuum of space. Yeah, so that's what I've got to say about him really, but I do like them. They look good.
My number four is he's from Episode 1. This is the only one from the prequel trilogy. Darth Maul, because I like Darth Maul. I like the way he looks. He's quite a cool character. I think they could have used him a lot more in the film. Actually, he didn't get a lot of screen time, and I think maybe he should have got a bit more. I like the way he looks. I like the way he kind of his presence is, I like the way he kind of he's again another mysterious character. Again, you don't really know much about him because he doesn't get much screen time. You don't really see much about his background, but cool character.
Okay, my number four is Boba Fett. Obviously, a lot of people like Boba Fett as a character. He's not my favourite character, but he's a cool character. He, when you first see him in The Empire Strikes Back, originally he was in the revised edition of Star Wars. Briefly, we'll sort of walk through and the scene with Han Solo and Jabba the Hutt. But again, in Empire Strikes Back, he's kind of a bit mysterious. You don't really say much. He's kind of cool. He looks professional killer. I kind of like that aspect about him. Cool armor, looks good. Yeah, it's good. We like it.
Number three, my number three is Jabba the Hutt, and I only really liked Jabba the Hutt when he appeared in Return of the Jedi. I didn't like his CGI incarnation from Episode 1. But what I like about Jabba again is he's like top gangster. He's just a fat, cool character, really. Not much else to say.
My number three is Darth Vader. A lot of people probably put him as number one, but he's not my number one. Obviously, you can't say he's not a cool character. He is, and he is kind of the epitome of evil within the Star Wars galaxy. Great armor, looks good, the voice is good. James Earl Jones. I was a bit disappointed with him in Episode 3, the last bit when you saw him, and when he's sort of shouting "No." But overall, yeah, he's good and a very strong character. When I first saw Star Wars I think I saw it when I was about 4, he scared the crap out of me. And yeah, brilliant, good character.
My number two is a Stormtrooper, which is the the main army of the Empire. What I liked about the Stormtrooper is the way he looks, and just the cool presence of Stormtroopers throughout the 3 original films. And I just like the way the armor was cool, the helmet was cool, and just everything about him was cool.
My number 2 is Palpatine, so the Emperor. Really, for me, I think Ian McDiarmid in all the prequel films, basically, I think he steals the show pretty much as an actor, especially in episode 3. I think his characterization of Palpatine, he kind of the background story kind of behind the Emperor. I think it's great, and I think he's a great actor, plays it very well. And again, when he kind of just been zapped by his own Force lightning, Sith lightning, which is repelled off of Mace Windu's lightsaber, and he's obviously become disfigured. Sort of after when you see him pull up his robe, he looks cool. It looks really evil. I love it, and his voice is a little bit deeper. Great, I just love that bit. But of episode 3, that's one of my favourite parts, and I think he sort of steals the show for me.
Right, my number 1 is Boba Fett, because he is arguably the coolest character in the saga. Again, like he said before, he's quite mysterious, and he's again, you don't know a lot about him, but just the small scenes you see him in, he kind of steals the scene pretty much. I like him especially in The Empire Strikes Back. When he's, when they put Han in carbonite and that, and then take him to the ship. Cool ship as well.
Okay, my number 1 is Jabba the Hutt, and ever since I was a kid and I saw Return of the Jedi, I've always loved Jabba the Hutt. Anything to do with Jabba the Hutt, I love. I've got like the sideshow edition of Jabba the Hutt, big one. Love it. It's great. I just think what it was, I think they make him look real in the puppet, and the animatronics. It's great, and I just think I was just mesmerised by it as a kid, and I think when I watch it back now, it's I still think it's great. The CGI versions of Jabba that they did, obviously in the reissue of Star Wars on Tatooine with Han Solo, not very good. Didn't really like it. In the episode 1 where you see him at the Boonta Eve pod race, it's a little better, but it's still not to the standard of the puppet in Return of the Jedi. I just like the whole kind of thing about him. He's like evil, slimy gangster. I like his the way he speaks. Just his laugh, his kind of sarcastic kind of attitude, and I think he's great. And I like anything to do with Jabba.